Welcome to the Bodaciously Awesome Family Show. Bodaciously Awesome Family Show. The only show dedicated to helping parents maximize their kids' experiences and for kids to reap the fun. Here are your hosts, the Bodacious family, Adam, Anthony, and Zachary.
I'm out of breath.
Ah, yeah. Well, it's like running up the art museum of Philadelphia art step things.
I want to do that too.
Oh, we got to do that.
Yeah, no problem.
Right, welcome back to Bodacious Awesome Family
Show.
That was it. I am your host, Adam.
And I'm your host, Anthony.
And Zachary, as noted right there, has the night off. So
No, he's right there.
He is not.
Oh.
He's not even in the house today. He can't even it's not even like one of these episodes we say he has the night off and then he shows up like halfway through. Like, I don't think that's even possible today.
He can run pretty fast.
I'm sure there's a way. He also he'll just come in and be like, "Hi guys,"
through the wall.
Yeah, like the Kool-Aid man. Anywho, we love you, Zach. So what are we talking about today, Anthony?
Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed 2.
That is correct. We are talking about the Rocky series. And I have made this statement before, and I'm going to make it publicly and on airwaves here. And given how much of a Star Wars fan I am, I'm going to say the Rocky movies is the greatest American film series of all time, without question.
Well, if you say something else, you're wrong. So
exactly. And you could say Star Wars, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Or
sure.
The Godfather series, or the Lord of the Rings series, or
I don't think
it doesn't matter.
says Lord of the Rings series.
I hope not.
It says like 10 hours of riding on horses.
And they walk around a lot.
They do walk around a lot.
It's a lot of walking.
Yeah.
So, we'll get to how that steps. First of all, Anthony, where can people find us on the internets?
Well, everywhere. The end. That was it.
Oh, okay. You're right. Anywhere you want to find podcasts, you can find us. You can always drop us an email at bodaciousfamilyshow@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Bodacious Awesome Family Show. Find us on the Twitter at Bodacious Family.
No.
That's what our handle is. The Bodacious Family at Bodacious Family.
No. No.
We are at Bodacious Family. Yes.
No.
Sirs!
No, that's from first of all, that's from the office. There's no response. And second of all, it's the Twitter.
The Twitter?
Yeah, it's just no.
Right,
no. No.
We're not on the gram.
We are not.
On the Insta.
We can
on the IG.
We can get on the IG.
Yeah, that's all you. You can IG us.
Okay, I will.
IGUP.
Got it.
IG up.
No.
Okay. So, wow, that was a definitive no.
No.
Yeah, you're like, I'm even playing now.
No.
Okay. All right. So, Anthony, yes, we were talking about the Rocky series. So we started watching. Oddly, I think I initially showed you Creed first randomly, but then we went back and actually I think I showed you every single Rocky movie in order, effectively 1 through 8. As you pointed out, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa, Creed 2. And really kind of laid out the amazing character arcs that are in this series.
Yeah, without a question. There's a lot of really good character arcs. Rocky's character arc is basically more like a wave because it's like all the character arcs.
He does have a lot. He has a lot of highs and lows.
He has like 7.
And so let me ask you this: how do you want to tackle this? Do you want to go by movie, or do you just want to go by topic here and then by movie eventually?
Topic then by movie.
All right. So, what did you like most about this series?
Well, I don't know, because when I first saw Creed and Rocky, I was expecting more of like an action movie versus a drama movie, and I actually liked that it was a drama movie and it focused more on the actual person and the underdog story than the boxing.
I would agree that I think that is what initially makes Rocky and Rocky 2, in that initial time frame, so amazing.
And then like the first half of Rocky 3 too.
Let's not go that far. But I think that it becomes formulaic, put in all the character and drama on the first half of Rocky and Rocky 2. But that really does set the tone for the rest of the series because you know so much about Rocky and you're with him through those highs. And and spoiler alerts for people that haven't seen movies somewhere between 2 and 40 years old, but like in that first movie, when he doesn't win the title, right? Like there's not many blockbusters that end with like the hero losing.
Infinity War.
There's not many.
That's it.
There's 7 movies in this series, and it happens twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, and in both times, it's a gut punch, if you want to use a boxing term, right? Both times you get floored because you aren't expecting it from the hero worship side of the equation that you expect to see Rocky win.
Well, and Rocky 1, it still ends on a high note, though, because he's like, Adrian.
Well, it's Rocky 6, Rocky Balboa ends in the same way. Like, both of them had the same... It's often said, or
Rocky Balboa is sad. Rocky is not.
Very good, very true. They both end on an uplifting note, but yes, Rocky Balboa is wrapped in a shroud of sadness throughout that movie, right?
Yeah, that movie's depressing.
Well, it's obviously there's the emotional center of Adrian being dead. There's Rocky just basically having no life. He has his restaurant, but he doesn't do anything. So it's how he can shake that off. How he's whether or not he's a footnote in history or the real boxer. The estrangement of his son, right? Like all of those things come together. So it ends on this positive note that he can still hang. That he's not washed up. That he's not a loser. That he can still be him. But yeah, it's a Christmas present that's just like wrapped in wet newspapers.
And socks too.
Yeah, and with dirty socks. It's like here's this Christmas gift, and it's all wrapped in dirty socks.
Yep.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But yes, Rocky is very uplifting because the entire story is, can he hang with the champ? And that's why even in the idea that he loses that fight, he wins it in his mind. The moral victory of all he wanted to do is go the distance. Can I go this with the champ? Can I not be a palooka?
Which is kind of the theme of the whole series, I guess.
Well, I would say every movie on some level does come back to the idea of, can you be bigger than yourself? Can you rise to the moment? Can you... if you're destined to, in Rocky, he uses the term palooka, right? To be just like the average fighter, the average person, you have some greatness in you, but can you really achieve it? Or are you just destined for where you're at? All of them do in one way or another have a head-on collision with that thought.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what makes them so great. What I find weird about the series, though, so again, I think that we have Rocky is legitimately great, a classic, one of the greatest sports movies of all time, if not like the top 2.
Yeah, top 2. Let's not get crazy and put it above Warrior here.
Yeah.
But
that's a podcast for a different time. But best picture, like if you say what best, like that's it. Rocky 2, which I don't know how popular of an opinion this is also legitimately great. Like, it is a great film.
I'd say it's a better film than Rocky 1, but Rocky 1's more enjoyable.
Interesting. I think I find Rocky 2 more enjoyable. I think Rocky 1's the better film. But Rocky 2 is still legitimately
I think
great.
Rocky 2 might have the biggest character arc because you go from him like with all the money and then to him not being able to read cue cards all the way down to like being poor and like working in a meat factory again, and then he loses that job and then he goes back up to being a fighter again.
I think it's actually a good point, actually. I think you kind of hit that because that's, again, there's that running theme of money and success and fame. And throughout it, you also see those dichotomies of Rocky trying to live with the fame and money and not really being able to. That's kind of how he gets goaded in 3 and 4 into the fights. But then when you get to, say, Rocky Balboa, and Rocky 5 where he loses his money, but then he gets to Rocky Balboa, so in 6, 7, and then the Creed movies, where he just lives in the same old little house in Philly, and he has his restaurant. But let's face it, when he goes back for Rocky Balboa, he probably makes a good little money. Like he is not poor or destitute. Like the dude has some cash, at least by that point again.
Right.
You would think.
You'd think.
But you get that to the very stark change of financial equality with, say, Creed, in Creed or in Rocky and Rocky 2. And even into Rocky 3, you see Apollo Creed as someone who has a lot of money and who's very ostentatious with his wealth and where he lives. And then you get into, say, Creed, where you're living in the mansion and still having the family still having that money. And it's this idea of how Rocky lives versus Creed, but Rocky couldn't deal with it, right? And he totally couldn't deal with the money and the fame in Rocky 2, tries to do the commercials or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't really, he over accentuates the limelight in 3, hence losing to Clubber Lang with the big boxing parties that he was having. But then, and then in 4, again, living in this giant mansion, he has to go back into do the CrossFit Woods thing in Russia.
I refuse to talk about 4.
I know. But and then we go back to 5 where he's then humbled and then But I would say from that perspective, I think there's a really good theme there that gets strung along through the movies. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
So I rambled there for a second. You want to say anything else, or do you just not want to talk about 4?
I just want to avoid 4 for as long as possible, but I know for some reason you like it. And for some reason, it brings a tear to your eye when the stupidest ending, one of the stupidest endings, and he wins the Cold War with a boxing match.
He wins the Cold War for us.
With a boxing match.
Because if I can change, and you can change, we all can change.
It's horrible. It's so...
I'm tearing up right now thinking about it.
You actually are, which is really sad. It's so bad.
All right, so we should probably touch on one of the greatest movies of all time, Rocky IV. So, true story, hold on. So Superman 4, Superman 4, okay. Subtitle of Superman 4, which would have come out approximately the same time. I don't know when, Superman 4 came out, but Superman 4 subtitle was The Quest for Peace. You could have retitled Rocky IV The Quest for Peace. And oh my God, I think I just made it better.
No.
So I will say this here. So we're watching Rocky IV, and you made the most brilliant comment. Like, you just look at me like dumbfoundedly, and I'm like, what? And you're like, is the rest of this movie this racist?
It really is. Because all they talk about is how mean the Russians are.
So I did try to tell you the difference. It wasn't necessarily racist, but it was nationalistic. But yes, it was absolutely, completely anti-Russian and pro-U.S. to an absolutely ridiculous degree.
It's a
cartoon.
I want to give it that much credit.
Ooh. But I told you. So again, we get into the movies. Rocky 1, legitimately great. Rocky 2, legitimately great. 3 and 4 are cartoons. They are. They 3 try again.
I like 3 more than most people. I thought 3 was really good.
Oh, I like 3 a lot. Like, I really enjoy 3. But you basically combine Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 with one big thing in the middle. You throw in mixed death, get the emotional context, and they're like, here you go. But it's an action film. I mean, Hulk Hogan's in it, for crying out loud.
That's true.
So it's an action movie. It's a cartoon. And it came out right around the same time as, say, Rambo or Rambo 2. So again, you had you had such Stallone kind of had this height of comic booky character persona, movie stardom. Then you get to 4, which I'm not going to defend 4 as a good movie or as a good film. It is not.
No.
And actually, I think I told you after the movie we watched it. I said, ultimately, I think. If you look at a movie, like books or encyclopedias, they kind of categorize movie categories. Rocky IV should be categorized as a musical.
It is a musical. Well, no. See, Rocky IV, here's the thing. It's not Hudson Hawk bad. Because I'm just trying to get you as mad as possible. So it's not Hudson Hawk bad.
You are a sad little bit.
But Mm-hmm.
So
it's one giant music montage.
Well, there's not. So there are 3 distinct different music videos that go on during the movie. There's the literally Living in America when James Brown comes out and sings Living in America when Apollo comes to the ring dancing is a music video. Then you have Rocky all sad and driving in his car to No Easy Way Out with a montage of like the first 2 movies or 3 movies. And then there is the fight montage, CrossFit Russia training. I gotta go back to my poor roots montage thing. And then you have 2 fights that they're in the middle and the end, which are basically just like dancing scenes, set to Flyin High Now and the Rocky theme. I'm telling you, it's only like an 80-minute movie. It's not even long. It's a musical.
It's long. Hudson Hawk.
Okay, stop with that. We're a long podcast.
Yeah, no. It really is a musical.
Yeah. So, but sorry, then you get to 5, which is just a misfire. It tries. And I don't hate 5, by the way.
But you get that one great quote of, Tommy, I didn't hear no bell.
Yo, Tommy, I ain't hear no bell.
Your Philadelphia accent is much better, I guess, than mine, because it's there.
Because yours was awful.
Yeah, because mine isn't there.
Yeah. And I've seen Rocky 5 a lot, more so than the average person. Actually, probably more so than maybe anybody. And so yeah, I can mimic it pretty well.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Rocky. So
Rocky 5 just tries to be different, and it just misses.
it tries hard, and it's a misfire. But here's what I'll tell people that. One way I know that Rocky 5 was just a misfire that tried. It doesn't really work, and I get that. But the kernel of it is so good because effectively Creed is a remake of Rocky 5.
Just far better.
And it's amazing. Like, again, now we used to be Rocky 5, misfire, but it tries. Rocky Balboa, Rocky 6, again, is legitimately great. And then I gotta tell you, when Creed came out, like I saw the first trailer for Creed, and I don't think that my eyes could have rolled harder back into my head. And like I may have given myself a headache. I mean, I was like, you gotta be kidding, man. But come on, Sylvester Stallone, stop doing this. Like, just let this one go. You don't need to go back to this well. You figured it out with Rocky 6, with Rocky Balboa. Why are you doing Creed? But dang, is Creed good.
Yeah, and now you have the question of how is he going to end it again?
Yeah, because Creed is, again, an amazing film, and it's again classic, one of the best sports movies ever. Like, it should have won Best Picture that year. Like,
it
Creed,
didn't?
No, it did not.
Was it nominated at least?
It was.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, it's Michael B. George has been nominated, and Ray Coogler for the director. Like, it's an absolutely amazing movie. I think Sylvester Stallone may have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor too, I have to look. But and then you get to Creed 2, which again, they show the trailer and Drago comes out. I'm like, ugh.
And the movie should have been called Drago, and should have been more about Drago than less about Drago.
I would agree. So we talked about this after we saw. So let's get into this. So if Creed is what we'd consider almost like a sidequel, right? Or because it's
a sidequel.
I
like that
because it's a sequel, but it's also like a spin-off sidetrack movie, right? So because Rocky is no longer the main character, nor should he be.
Right.
So it's a sidequel. If it's a spin-off sequel, right? And that's fine. You know what? If they had just made another spin-off sequel for Drago, and Creed been in it, but not been the focus, dare I say that Creed 2, Drago, would have been a better movie.
I think it could have been fantastic. They had a great opportunity because Drago's storyline is far more compelling than Creed's cookie cutter storyline.
Yeah, I agree. Like and you watch it, and again, and Creed 2 it's a fine film, a fine movie. It's enjoyable. Like I'd put it up there. It's honestly on the lower part of my Rocky movies, just because the Rocky movies are so great.
Right.
But like, and it's fine, and there's some really interesting camera work, but like I don't get the entire. First of all, I think some of the imagery is backwards. You have for the first fight, Creed trains in a pool, and the second fight he trains in the desert. And so if you try, but you're trying to get to this rebirth storyline, you're usually rebirthed and baptized in water, not in heat. So symbolically, that's weird to me.
Yeah, it's a little little backwards.
Yeah, but again, we got to go back to the root storyline. You got to go find your hunger at the eye of the tiger. I'm actually shocked that line isn't mentioned. That's like the only trope they don't dig out. But yeah, I was like, I don't want to see Drago's son fight Apollo's son. Oh my god, that sounds so stupid. And that part of it is kind of not, they don't really expand on it. But yeah, the plot with Drago and his son, and the plot within with Mother Brigitte Nielsen and the Russian society, they only hint at it. So who knows if they had anything else to go with. But they hint at it. It's so good. And I'll tell you what, it ties it all together. The glue of all of it, I'm being very serious. The actor who plays the kid Drago, Ivan Drago. Victor Drago.
By having like 2 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, maybe, and not in English. But he absolutely, his eyes and his tone for the fight scenes is perfect. For the scenes with the dad are perfect. With the scenes that his mom shows up are perfect. The end of the movie is perfect. He conveyed, you talk about actors that convey so much with their eyes. That is an absolutely dynamic performance for someone that has so little dialogue and carries that emotional storyline. That's the reason why we even like that storyline, because ultimately that storyline's, okay, maybe it's good, maybe it's not, but he carries it so well.
Now, here's the thing. It's weird because I would say that for the first time, ever, the villain goes through a larger, more almost sympathetic character arc than the main good guy.
I'd agree with that, yeah.
Which is just weird.
Yeah, the emotional...
I almost wanted Drago to win. honestly almost wanted Drago to win.
I did not. I get the character arc that he goes through. So Victor's character arc is amazing.
And even the dad's character arc, where after the mom leaves at the fight, he throws it's.
Well, yeah, and the dad throwing in the towel at the end for that, and then he was like the very, very end. There's Rick running through the street, in wherever. It's perfect.
It could have been amazing. Like, it honestly could have been amazing.
I would have loved if they just said, okay, let's make a side goal, right? Done the entire arc and storyline of Drago in the same time period as the movie Creed. See young Drago growing up, like you see young Creed.
Yes.
And then what he's doing now, his first few fights. You could even then kind of go extend a little bit by, at the end, having Creed fight for the heavyweight championship and winning it, have Drago winning some big fight, right? And you end it, like at one point where, in Creed, in Creed 2 wins the heavyweight title, and then it cuts to the Dragos, and the dad's like, now it's time. That could have ended that movie. Because now it's time. And you're like, if it's an awful movie, whatever, no one really cared. It was a side quel. If it's really good, you've now set up the third one, which becomes Creed, what effectively is Creed 2, about both of their paths forward now. And you have that dual character, or those two characters that you absolutely care about because you're invested in them and what they're trying to overcome.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it. That is exactly what they should have done. So, almost, I enjoyed Creed 2, but it was almost a misfire for me.
Yeah, it's good, but yeah, I agree. They almost, it's the fact that they shoehorn in plot for Creed, right? The baby plot, he's getting married, right? The fact that his mom doesn't want him.
It's very cookie cutter.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of it are just it's a lot of tropes. Like okay, oh of course, he's gonna okay, she's married. No, of course his mom's not gonna like it. She's okay, so let's have Rocky come back. Oh, of course they're gonna reconcile. Yeah, it's where it's all going. You don't know what's going on with the Drago storyline,
right?
Because that actually has the more emotional weight,
and it's so much more compelling. It's miles more compelling.
Yeah. So I think that's the misfires that they should have had a Drago focused movie. And again, when this movie was announced, I would not have said that. I'm like, oh my gosh, get the Dragos out of it. This is a horrible idea. I mean, it should not have any sense, but it totally works.
You know why it was a horrible idea? Because Rocky 4 is so bad.
I mean, well,
you set yourself up.
Yeah, but to your point though, in Rocky 4, I mean, Drago is nothing but a tool, and he's a mindless villain, right? He's just a punching machine.
And then you get the character arc to emotion in Creed 2.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm gonna call it Drago. I'm gonna call it Drago.
Yeah.
In Drago, you get the full character arc.
Yeah, I think it's actually, that would have been, but yeah, you film it the same way you film Creed in terms of timeline, then you have the availability for this next movie, and then, because you would paint yourself in a corner from a writer's perspective, how do you end that, right? Do you have Creed becoming the mantle that he's trying to become, or do you finally have this full redemption in Drago? That is unbelievably compelling.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost like Warrior.
It is. We'll get there. Next podcast, or another podcast. So, Anthony, on a scale of 0 to 5, 0 being absolute waste of 2 hours of your life times 7.
Times 8.
0 being, waste of your life. Can you please rate each of the Rocky movies in order?
Okay. Rocky 1 is 5 stars. Rocky 1 is 4.5 stars. Rocky 2 is 5 stars. Rocky 3 is 3.5 stars. Rocky 4 is like a 1. Rocky 5 is like a 2, maybe 1.5. We'll go with 1.5. Rocky Balboa is 4, 4.5. Creed is 4, 4.5. And Creed 2 is like 2.5.
All right, you're close. So Rocky's a 5. You are correct. Rocky 2 is you said 4.5. Yes, Rocky's a 5. Rocky 2 is a 4.5. Rocky 3 is a 3.5. Rocky 4 is a 3. I'm not gonna lie. Rocky 5 is a 2.5.
You're lying already.
Rocky 5 is a 2.5.
Yeah, I'll go 2 for Rocky 5.
Rocky Balboa is a, I'd say 4. I could possibly go 4.5. I'm gonna say 4. Creed's a 5. I think Creed is an absolutely amazing film. And then Creed 2 is a 3. And it's
I'd
just
say 2.5 really.
Yeah, because man, and just some tweaks, they would have. It's unbelievable how close it could have gotten.
If you made it Drago focused, it honestly could have been another classic.
Yeah. Or take Drago out and make it all about Creed and him becoming the heavyweight champion and why that's important to him. But then you got to strip out the Drago storyline because they just don't mesh in the same film.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. There's no symbology, there's no duology between the two characters in that movie, and that's what makes it, I think, less compelling for that movie.
Yeah, it almost felt disjointed at parts, really.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
So, if we ever go to Philly, you want to run the stairs?
Oh, of course.
And you get to the top and go, da, 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 da.
I'll throw my hands in the air, but
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be more than that.
Okay. Oh, and then one last thing I got to say, because I think this goes back to me saying that Creed's an amazing film. Creed, I will also say, contains the single best, it's called a needle drop, where you add in some music, right? The single best needle drop in film history. Because in Creed, they do not use the Rocky theme. They hint at it all the time. Like the full-on horns, right? Mm-hmm. You usually get in the soft piano, the doo, doo, right? You get the piano occasionally dinging in. But you don't get the full-on da, 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 until in the fight, in the middle, he gets knocked down, he is out, and he somehow jars himself awake, and then that hits immediately. And I tell you, I saw that at the theater, and the theater exploded when it happened. Not that he got up, but
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, it was such an amazing use of restraint to not use the theme and overdo it. But when it hits, it was beautiful.
Yeah. That's definitely probably up there with Ferris Bueller.
Oh yeah,
and oh yeah,
yeah. Or honestly, the immigrant song in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, that was that's
those are perfect placements of songs, but given the emotional weight of those horns in the Rocky series at that moment, you utterly unbelievable.
Yeah.
So all right, anything else you want to talk about here for all the Rocky, Creed, and Drago movies?
No, but there isn't anything we have to say before I sign off because Zachary's in here.
Boxing. All right, everyone.
Random.
We're gonna see you all next week. Talk to you later. Bye. Rocky 4 is good.